If you're a federal employee and you're considering accepting the deferred resignation offer that's been offered by President Trump, then you'll want to watch this video, as I'll cover three main things that you should think about as you're deciding whether or not to accept. So the most important thing about anyone accepting this offer or anyone moving into the next phase of their life, be it retirement, is your cash flow in retirement going to be enough for you to be comfortable? Obviously, if you're accepting this deferred resignation offer, one of the most appealing parts of this, I would say, is the fact that you're going to be getting paid until the end of September. And for some people, this could mean not showing up to work or not having to show up to work for a number of months. It also means for a lot of people not having to go into work if you've been able to work remotely. But when that ends at the end of September, the question is your cash flow going to be enough for you to be comfortable and not having to go back to work? Now, maybe part of your plan is to get another job, and that might be possible to bridge the gap to getting to retirement. But if you're not sure whether or not you can retire, there's a couple things that you should do. So number one is look at how much you're taking home every couple weeks right now. What's your take-home pay? That can be an estimate for you as far as how much you need in retirement, how much retirement income you're going to need. So let's just say your take-home pay is $60,000 a year, then maybe that's the number that you need to be bringing in as an income in retirement. Another option is to put together a detailed budget. There's a number of ways that you can put together your budget. You could go through all your expenses and list them out. You can download budgeting apps. This is a budget that I put together in Excel that I have people going into retirement complete. And you can download this by going to morrisseywealthmanagement.com and clicking on resources. The better information you have about planning your retirement, the better prepared you're going to be for retirement. There's not going to be surprises. So putting together some type of budget that takes into account all your expenses and also any changes in retirement, so you could come up with a number to know exactly what it is that you need in retirement. So the next thing to think about if you're going to be retiring is whether or not you're going to be eligible for health insurance in retirement. So that's a big part of people's budget. Now, if you're retiring and you've worked for the federal government for at least 5 years, and that whole time you've been enrolled in the federal employees health benefit system, and you're also going to be eligible for a pension immediately upon retirement, then you are eligible to continue your health insurance at a subsidized rate. That means that you're not going to have to pay the full amount of health insurance in retirement. That could be a big savings for a lot of people. So definitely a major consideration that you should have if you're going to accept this offer is, what does health insurance look like for you? Let's just say you weren't eligible to enroll in the health insurance because you hadn't been in it for 5 years. Maybe you're on your spouse's plan for a number of years, and then recently you switched over to the FEHB. But if you haven't completed the 5 years, you're not going to be able to continue that health insurance. So that would mean you'd either have to pay the full price plus a 2% premium increase to continue this health insurance in retirement if you're paying the full cost. It works just like COBRA insurance, so you'd pay 102%. So that could be really expensive. Another option would be that you could go to your state's health insurance marketplace, and maybe you could get an individual or joint health insurance plan through that way, and maybe there's a subsidy that you're eligible for, so that could be another option as well. So you really have to nail down what health insurance is going to look like for you, because if all of a sudden you've been paying $300 or $400 a month and now you're going to have to pay $2,000 a month for health insurance, well, that could be a major shock to your budget and your cash flow, and maybe retirement isn't going to be a good thing for you. The other thing you need to think about as well, the last thing being, what is your pension going to look like as a retired federal employee? So this is a link to the page that talks about the FERS system. Employees hired after 1983 are underneath the Federal Employee Retirement System. The previous system was CSRS. And so there's a minimum retirement age that you need to meet to have an unreduced federal pension amount. There's also potentially a number of years of service that you need to have to also not have a reduced pension amount. So you want to understand, what is it going to look like if you are accepting this offer, this deferred resignation offer? Is it going to significantly reduce your pension? If it is, then maybe you don't want to accept the offer, or maybe you do want to accept a reduced pension now and then be able to find another job, and maybe your pension could be part of your supplemental income. So it's impossible on this video to give everyone the answer that whether or not this is a good deal for you to accept this deferred resignation offer. It really is an individual choice, but these are some of the things that you need to think about. Again, what is your cash flow going to look like? If you do accept this offer and aren't able to find other employment, are you going to be okay? If you do accept this offer, what is your health insurance options going to look like? Is that going to be okay for you based off how long you've been employed with the federal government, whether or not you're eligible for a pension, and you've been 5 years in the federal employee health benefit system? And then lastly, how is this choice going to impact your pension? Maybe by working a few more years, it could actually increase your pension benefit, and it could be a significant benefit to you by working longer. All things to consider, but remember, we have a short period of time to actually accept this offer. The deadline is February 6th, so it's quickly approaching. If we can be of assistance, feel free to reach out by going to morrisseywealthmanagement.com. Hope you enjoyed this video, and best of luck making this decision.